Welcome to a new episode, your go-to source for all things essential oils and natural wellness. Today, we're spotlighting the potent and powerful Oregano Essential Oil. Known for its robust aroma and incredible purifying properties, Oregano oil is a must-have for every wellness home. Whether you're curious about how to support healthy immunity or how it can elevate your cooking, this episode will uncover the spice of this versatile oil. Let's dive into the world of oregano and discover its endless potential. Jake, name 3 ways to use oregano oil.
Oh man, all right. So oregano is used for cooking.
Okay.
It's used for, you can put it in a veggie cap.
Okay.
And it's also used for, you can put it on your skin if it's diluted.
Okay.
It's a very hot oil, so make sure.
Okay, you
we're good
win.
on that.
You
Yep,
nailed
that's
it, yeah. We're gonna go talk to some experts today and learn about oregano oil.
Who are you talking to today?
I'm gonna talk to Taylor MacKay.
Taylor MacKay from Sourcing.
From Sourcing. Yeah, he's so fun to talk to.
And I'm talking to Dr. Brannick Riggs, dive into the science,
Cool.
chemical stuff, everything about it.
Okay, let's meet back here.
Okay, let's go.
Okay, bye. Okay, we are so lucky we get to talk to Taylor MacKay today. I'm so excited to chat with you.
I'm Taylor MacKay, Vice President of Global Strategic Sourcing. So I oversee our co-impact sourcing programs and our sourcing team around the world, and I think I have one of the best jobs
You're
at doTERRA.
so lucky. I'm so jealous. I want to follow you around and know every single little detail. I love it. So I'm so excited that your team shares your experiences with us. Super fun.
Got an amazing team, yeah.
I know. I've been really impressed with the whole team over here. It's been every time we walk away, right, you guys? Every time we walk away and we're like, they are the coolest people. I would love to work with you guys every day. So we're very impressed. But we're chatting oregano oil today. And I feel like oregano is kind of like a lot of people know about it, and then a lot of people never touch it. It feels like it's used or not used. It's the very like polar, to me, polarizing. And so where do we source our oregano oil?
Yeah, so our oregano comes from Turkey. It's a Mediterranean herb and crop and grown in lots of Mediterranean countries.
Okay.
It grows wild and it's cultivated on farms, but our oregano comes from Turkey.
And is it distilled?
It is distilled, yeah, steam distilled.
Will you share that process with us?
Similar to a lot of herb oils, oregano is cut, it's harvested, it's dried in the sun typically. People then kind of remove some of the stalk and leaf and then take the oregano kind of aerial parts and steam distill them in a classic kind of traditional steam distillation. So that process of heating up a big pot of water and the steam evaporates along with water and with oil, goes through a condensing process where it's then cooled and the oil and the water are separated. Then the oil is left over. It's highly concentrated, of course.
Yes.
And a lot of water and a little bit of oil.
I was going to say it's so amazing that it's so like potent after all of those steps. That it's just it's so powerful.
It is, yeah, and especially oregano.
Yeah. Can we discuss sourcing? I feel like you've got this like insider, like behind the scenes of sourcing. You probably know, where the farms are and who's actually creating this oil for us. Can you share with us anything sourcing related around oregano?
We have a wonderful partner named Ashik. Some of our European leaders were able to visit him in Turkey a couple of months ago, look at his distillation and visit the sourcing communities there. He's a second generation essential oil producer, carrying on the legacy of his dad. And just someone who's very generous with his time, with his love of essential oils, and with the community that he works with.
How has this opportunity partnering with doTERRA impacted them or their family or just the whole situation over there?
Yeah, I mean, so co-impact sourcing is all about creating value chains that lift all boats. And finding the right partners who share that vision and that commitment to being a force for good in the world. And so it's not easy, it's not perfect, but it's making an impact and a real difference. So with oregano farmers, for example, they're paid quickly for their labor, for the fruits of their labor, I should say, for their oregano crop. Ashik and his team are able to work with a lot of small-scale farmers, several hundred in and around his sourcing facilities and distillation facilities, and provide this, kind of steady, respectful mutually beneficial commercial relationship.
I love hearing that. It's so good to know. I love that doTERRA puts time into finding the right people and people that are passionate, and also putting a process in place that wasn't there before and caring for the community. I love hearing that. I think that's so fun. So will you share with us how you use oregano, you and your family?
Yeah, it's a strong one.
Yes.
Personally, I actually love using it in my steak rub.
Okay.
Yep.
I love this. This is great.
1 or 2, 3 drops into some olive oil, throw on some seasonings, put it all over the steak. A little bit goes a long way, but it's really good.
I'm going to have to try that. That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
That's fun. Any other ways?
No.
I love that. That's so
my steak
good.
rub.
That's so good. Yeah, oregano is so interesting because it's like, you know, if you have something going on with your skin or you're needing to maybe take it in a capsule, it's like so specific, but yet so helpful in like a wide variety. So it feels like such an interesting oil to discuss. And it is hot. You keep saying it's so powerful. It's known as like the hot oil. Is there anything else around sourcing oregano, or even just the partnerships that we have, or the oil in general, that you'd love to share with any listener out there that...
Well, maybe just another example of our sourcing partner's dedication to his community and the generosity of doTERRA Healing Hands. Recently he was able to renovate a local school in one of the sourcing communities of oregano. Helping with some electrical issues, some of the insulation, and just improving this infrastructure that badly needed it. And it's just an example of doTERRA's generosity of healing hands and the kind of people that we get to work with who also want to share that benefit with their communities.
If any viewer or listener would like to learn more or see the process of oregano, do you have any resources for them?
Yeah, there's actually a great Behind the Bottle YouTube episode on oregano that kind of goes through the whole process, beginning to end, that, recommend.
That's fantastic. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you for your time. We love your brain and your experiences.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
Thanks so much for being with us today, and we hope you enjoy oregano oil as we do.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are so excited once again to be with Dr. Brannick Riggs. Dr. Riggs, thank you as always for letting us come and talk to you.
Of course, happy to be here.
Yeah, today we're talking about oregano.
Yeah.
Which actually, before this interview, you were talking to me about kind of the pronunciation. Obviously, here in the States, we say oregano.
Yeah.
How do they pronounce it in Europe?
It's oregano.
Oregano.
In Europe. And if you don't get it right, if you say oregano, they'll let you know. They'll help you with the pronunciation.
Well, there you go. So comment, let us know where you're from and how you pronounce oregano.
There you go.
So, well, I'm excited to talk about this oil. It's a very strong one, right? When you smell, it's got a very a very strong scent.
Yeah, it does. And it's one of those that you do need to have some knowledge about to use oregano.
Yeah, so let's dive deep, right? Yeah. You're the man to talk about it, so we're excited. Let's talk about, I'm curious, your experience with oregano. Do you have kind of a first experience or a story with oregano that just hits you deep and makes you fall in love with soil?
Let me share 2 with you. One of them was about 2005, so before doTERRA was founded. I had a patient that came into me who said, my child has been dealing with some ear issues, and so I've been taking care of it on my own, but it's just getting worse. And I said, well, what have you been doing? She said, well, I've been dropping oregano oil into his ear canal and then putting a cotton ball over so the oregano oil doesn't run out. Now, at the time, I didn't know enough about essential oils to have the reaction that I'm sure our viewers are having right now. I'm sure they're going, oh my gosh, I cannot believe someone did that. So I looked in the ear canal and couldn't see the eardrum because the ear canal was swollen shut, it was red, skin was falling off of the ear canal. And so I learned that oregano is a hot oil. To put it on topically straight, you can have some potential problems with that. And so this child was dealing with that. The rest of the story is kind of interesting because after having them stop the oregano oil in the ear and then treating them with some traditional medications to put some drops in the ear to help all that calm down, the kid came back 48 hours later. He never had an infection in the ear. What he had is the bug had crawled into his ear. That was causing his discomfort. Pulled the bug out, which had now been basted in oregano for 3 days. And as soon as I pulled it out, my whole exam room smelled like an Italian kitchen because of this oregano basted bug that had been sitting in a kid's ear canal for several days.
Marinated a little bit.
Yes, very much marinated. My second experience with this, when my wife and I were first getting into essential oils, began to understand them, we thought, we do a lot of canning at our house, and we thought, we're doing spaghetti sauce this year. We always put oregano, dried oregano, into our spaghetti sauce. Let's just use the oil. And we made a huge batch of spaghetti sauce. And so we thought, we'll just use the oil. We'll put in 3 or 4 drops, and that should probably be enough. And then we can taste it and see where it is. At 3 or 4 drops, that's all you taste is just straight oregano. And so we learned, particularly with oregano and other herbal oils, a toothpick in the bottle and then stirring it in and then tasting to see where your flavor profile is, because a little goes a very long way when it comes to cooking with these oils.
So you're saying a toothpick is enough to flavor a little bit.
Yes.
That is crazy. Well, and one thing I was thinking about is oregano in the traditional cooking sense, right? They're probably taking that plant and they're drying it up and they're putting it in. But what's different about essential oil? Why is that an entirely different flavor profile?
As you dry the plant, you lose some of the moisture. Some of the moisture is within the oil, and the oil, as we know, has a large concentration of chemistry in it. Yeah. So as you're using a dried herb, it's not nearly as powerful in its flavor profile as an oil would be, or using the green herb that hasn't been dried. And so if you're using fresh herbs, you need to use less than if you're using dried herbs. If you're using oil, even less than what you would be doing even with fresh herbs. So being aware of that, knowing, just getting an understanding of the oil, how it works. But start with a toothpick, stir it into your dish, and then taste it. See if you need more.
That's awesome. Well, hopefully our audience will not learn the hard way now,
yes.
Right?
Right, absolutely. And oregano, as we said before, being a hot oil, you do need, if you're putting it on topically, which you can, you do need to dilute that oil. Use a carrier oil, dilute it with other oils. You can do that as well. And then you can put it on topically, but just be aware, straight or neat, it can cause a burn to the skin, causes some irritation.
Well, that's such a good caution, right? So good to know. Yeah. Well, and we have our PIPs, we have our product information pages that have that information. So if you're not sure on some of these oils, make sure you're going to the product page and checking those out as well. Yeah. Let's talk about the chemical constituents of oregano. Yeah. What makes it up? Why is oregano so powerful, and what are some of the use cases of those chemical compounds?
Sure. So thymol is the major one. Again, I like to build the molecules, and so I begin to understand them a little bit better. This is thymol. This is what it looks like. It's an interesting compound. These are carbons, these black molecules here. Carbons like to form a 6-carbon ring. In this particular chemical constituent, it has double bonds in it, 3 double bonds in it. That makes this a very, very sturdy, very robust chemical constituent. It doesn't break down easily and therefore is quite powerful. It has one little oxygen group on it, but largely it's chemistry surrounding this 6-carbon ring of the chemistry. So that's thymol. Thymol, powerful antioxidant, powerful for cleaning and cleansing things. I like thymol just because it's super, super powerful as a chemical constituent.
So I am curious with oregano for more of the cleansing, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. How specifically would you use it in a cleansing scenario? You
can use oregano internally. You need to put it in a veggie cap, and often, again, used with other oils. So think about On Guard Plus. On Guard Plus has oregano in it, but it is diluted out with some other oils, etc. Because it is so helpful for the GI tract, it's helpful for seasonal threats, it's helpful for our immune system. That's the carvacrone as well as the thymol. That's helpful for those things. And so you can use it internally. It also is helpful, the thymol has been shown to be helpful for the GI tract, just in aiding the GI tract to be doing well. And it has some supportive effects to our microbiome as well.
And so that's so when you say put in a veggie cap, maybe 1-2 drops, I mean, how many drops?
Correct. 1 to 2 drops. Again, diluting it with either other oils or a carrier oil. You can even dilute it with olive oil if you want to. I know several people that do that. Yeah. And then you can take that internally, particularly, again, this time of year. It's actually wintertime, heading into wintertime. So having that extra oregano in the system can be helpful for us.
What about use cases? Obviously, you talked about putting in a veggie cap, but what are some other ways to use oregano in your daily life?
Yeah, it can be diffused. It's probably not one of the ones that we go to that, yeah, I want my home to smell, again, like an Italian kitchen. And again, it can be used topically, provided that you dilute it. So it can be put on the bottom of the feet. We know that we absorb about 64% of the chemistry we put on topically. Being aware that it is a hot oil and using it appropriately, we're going to absorb that pretty well. But then again, my favorite way, because we still get the benefits from it, is cooking with it. If we can cook with the oil, get it in internally, it can be extremely helpful. Now, again, I told you, thymol is a very robust compound, and heat can break chemistry up. But because thymol is so tough, you can even put it in before you heat your dish up. Or if you want to go, well, I want to make sure that it's okay, towards the end of cooking your dish, that's when you might want to add your oregano, or if you're using other oils, about that time, so that then the cooking process doesn't break down some of that chemistry.
Jeez, I didn't know we'd get a cooking lesson in all of this too.
Well, it's my other love, right? I mean, I love cooking. I'm a foodie. So understanding these oils and how I can use them, absolutely, I do that in cooking all the time.
Well, it's these kind of experiences or interviews that show that essential oils really are for all walks of life, right? Every hobby.
Super versatile. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge on this oil. Such a powerful one. The scent is overwhelming, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
But so powerful in cooking and so many other use cases. So thank you so much for taking the time to give us a little information about it today.
Happy to be here, Jake. Thank you.
We're back again.
We're back again. I just got to talk to Taylor MacKay, and it was a wonderful conversation about sourcing. It's just so exciting talking to them about sourcing.
Well, I learned a little bit about cooking from Dr. Riggs, or should I call him Chef Riggs?
Yes.
Yeah, he was awesome.
That should be his new title. I love it. That's
yeah.
awesome. Well, we would love to hear your experience. Write a review or comment anywhere you're watching or listening to this. We want to hear how you're using oregano and what you think about that oil. So thanks so much for tuning in and listening today or watching, and we will see you next time.
I couldn't find long socks today.
That's all right. I'm all about the socks.
Sure.
These say Rome on them. Here you go. Got to have the fun socks.